To those of you who were first, we salute you. Welcome back, everybody. I want to just talk about silver today. And the primary reason I want to talk about silver today is because it's had two fantastic days. Silver actually closed above $51 today and closed above $50 yesterday. So today we have a close at $51.20. Gold is at $4,140. Platinum is at $1,582. So silver's doing a fantastic job holding steady at that price point that we have been kind of watching, that $50 mark. Where if you remember the first time it hit $50, it was like watching a civil war, back and forth. One side pushes forward above 50, the other side pushes back down below 50, and we were fighting over that line. And ultimately, it took a couple days for us to really kind of push over the 50 mark. Then we skyrocketed up to 54, and then we got hit with heavy resistance as we fell back down below 50. And it was pretty fun to watch. And it had me thinking, is it too late? Is it over? Is the bull run over? Are we all gonna sit here and just flounder around at $50 and watch our stacks stagnate and then fall back down to earth? And I'm here to say I don't think so. But I don't think it really matters, because it's, in my opinion, never too late to make a decision and take action. I was just in a conversation on the Monday Night Metals chat, and I had a really great time getting to know and kind of just sitting back listening to what everybody had to say, and fortunate enough for them to give me an opportunity to speak my piece. I think we all like to be able to spout our opinions every now and then and see if we can get some sort of affirmation from our beliefs. I guess that's why, we probably watch YouTube videos about precious metals. We all have them, and we all want to hear about where they're going, and maybe somebody can confirm our biases and our thoughts. But at the end of the day, one thing I noticed is that every single person in the panel, at one point we had 6 people, we all had different opinions about the economy. We had different opinions about metals, different opinions about, gold backs and silver and platinum. You name it. We all had different opinions. But one thing that we all did and that we all had in common and we shared in common is that we all took action. We didn't just talk. We talked about the things that we were doing. Our opinions were based on the goals that we had and the steps and actions we were taking towards those goals. And while we all might be going down a different path, we all, in the same sort of way, support and encourage each other's direction without having to hold hands and walk in the same exact direction. By us just picking up our feet and moving forward, we are not only helping ourselves, but maybe we are helping motivate others to decide to get up and follow in our footsteps or pave their own path, which could lead to their own financial success or whatever their goals may be. We also had some say that they use metals as sort of a prepper type stance for barter and trade. Some might use it as a hedge against a poor economy or inflation. Some may just simply like the look of having a shiny piece of silver or gold or platinum. It doesn't really matter. We are all taking our hard-earned money and putting it into precious metals. And that's kind of what I have learned very quickly, is that this community is about. A lot of people with very similar interests, not the exact same interests, but very similar interests that help us kind of go in the same general direction. It's been very interesting just following silver for the last, 3 years now. Again, I'm kind of the new guy. I'm the new guy in the market. I'm the new guy in the community. I'm the new guy when it comes to my knowledge on precious metals, especially coinage. I'm doing a lot to learn about coinage. I'm reading books. I'm reading the Red Book. I'm reading coin books. I'm reading currency books. I'm reading history books. I'm doing as much as I can because I have become fascinated with silver. And right now, all we have in front of us are rounds. I've got some 1.25 ounce rounds, which I found it interesting. A little bit of a sidebar here, but we talk about 90% constitutional or junk silver as being the I don't want any of that, curses, because the wholesalers and the refiners weren't really that interested for a period of time, right? But I also remember seeing on that list that they were not taking sterling silver. They were not taking odd weighted ounce silver, such as 1.25 ounces, 1.5 ounces. I even saw one that had 5-ounce bars were on their list of items that they didn't really want to take right now, which left us with what? 1 ounce generic 999 pure, 4 nines fine or 3 nines fine pure silver, or it left us with 10-ounce bars and kilo bars, which is really funny to me because those kilos and 10-ounce bars were the things that had the lowest premiums when I first got into stacking, and those were the things that I was stacking. And it's so funny, like now I see some people kind of like begrudge me for stacking 90% silver, but I'm stacking that because it has lower premiums. I'm not too worried about who will take it in 2025, in November of 2025. I'm more concerned about its potential value as an inheritance item to my family, as a way to just put money aside into something. And I understand if I'm going to get $5 or $6 back from spot, well, then I better be buying it for under spot. But I have a question for you. If silver goes from $50 to $100 and refiners are taking junk 90% silver, $7 back from spot, was it a good or a bad thing that I put money into 90% silver? I don't know. It's kind of all relative. It just doesn't matter. And then I also have the generic stuff. I have the generic 1 ounces. I have the generic 1.25 ounces. I have the generic 10-ounce bars. I have kilo bars. And those are the items that if I really had to be in a pinch and I had to, unfortunately, sell part of my stack for wealth, it sure sounds like those items would be readily or easily convertible at a local coin stop, or even just sending it into one of the online dealers who accepts silver for a discounted rate. It's not the end of the world. I do think that I think premium is important. I definitely would like to get a little bit more bang for my buck every time I go to the store. But I also don't think that you should get so hung up on the premium prices that you are, chasing pennies and missing dollars, so to speak, or that you can't see the forest from the trees. I do believe, and this is just my opinion, that we are just starting to acknowledge for the first time in about 15 to 20 years that our United States economy and our United States currency is not as strong as we all have been led to believe because of the booming markets. We often these days we tend to look at our stock market as the end all be all, as a declaration of the success of the US government and the US currency and the markets and the economy. And I don't think it paints the entire picture. In fact, if you were to just simply look up definitions of recessions and such, when our economy is not producing, when our country is not able to spend its currency on goods and services within the country, when unemployment is rising and finding jobs, people that are looking for work can't find jobs, which are some of the things that are happening right now. I think that tells us that the economy even though the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ are tapping all-time highs, it doesn't necessarily indicate to me that things are in wonderful growth mode for the next decade of my life. And so that's what kind of brings me back to these things. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, nobody asked me, but I feel like we could see an actually really strong run up in the fourth quarter of gold and silver. I would like to think platinum would follow suit, but I think that there's just too much institutional central bank hedge fund attention on gold and silver, and that they are sort of ignoring platinum. I agree with some others that have said that. I think platinum's kind of a sleeper, but I also don't know if that indicates to me that platinum is underpriced or gold is overpriced, or maybe a little bit of both. It's kind of where I'm at. But I do think that we might see a good little run up here in the fourth quarter as institutions are happy to see the price rise. They're happy to see their investments and holdings increase in value. But I would caution you at the end of the quarter, end of the year, we might see a little bit being taken off the top of the books as they sell some assets, they sell some funds and commodities to lock in their clients' gains. And then we might see a drop back. So my little estimate here is probably around $60 to $62 silver at the end of the year. And it keeps making me think, should I be so hung up on paying 2 to 3, dollars over spot per ounce of silver rounds that seem like they would be resellable in the next bull run. Should I stick with constitutional silver because I'm having fun learning about key dates and learning about coinage and learning about grading and numismatics? Should I care what everyone's opinions are? Or should I just keep continuing to pave my own way, cut through the brush that I have in front of me, and maybe, hopefully, through these videos and through discussions in the community, help pave the way for others who are just getting started or curious and want to learn and want to follow my journey as I go through this lesson myself. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank all of you who have taken the time to like and comment on these videos. I am not somebody who really chases numbers, but I can tell you for sure that it does make you feel better. It does make me feel better and encourages me whenever I see people engaging positively with the content, encouraging me to continue. And it does give me a passion and a drive to continue to want to make videos and just speak my mind on these things. And I also encourage you, if you do disagree with me or if you have different opinions and insights, please absolutely share that as well. I will use that sometimes to dig deeper into a lesson for myself to learn about, and then I can maybe learn and share that new knowledge and opinion with you on a new video. So thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. This is Silver Dragoon. Have a fantastic, wonderful weekend. I'll see you on the next one.